Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Another Saturday, another team special. This week we have an Oklahoma City Thunder team special. Got some wicked guests on for you. So I'll just give everyone a couple of minutes to join. Just to let you know as well, we have our new YouTube channel up and running, NBA UK Fans Original. So go and check that out, like, subscribe, etc. And we're going to start uploading all the lives that we do onto the YouTube channel, because obviously Instagram Live only allows you to leave stuff on there for 24 hours. So once we've uploaded them onto YouTube, they'll be on there so you can come back, watch them again. If you're in them, you can show your friends, watch them again, whatever you want to do. So let's see what we've got on board. We've got a few people joining. So yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about Oklahoma City today. Great franchise, good history. Not all of it entirely in Oklahoma, as we know. Which is why we're going to start with a Sonics fan. So I'm just going to see if he's in here. Here we go. Right then. The man Sav on the line. Yes, Sav.
How's it going, Rich? You all right, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
All right, mate. I'm surviving in these interesting times.
Strange times, mate. Very strange times.
Yeah.
I went out to the shops earlier, right? I swear it was like a normal Saturday on the roads. It was really strange. I don't know if people are starting to relax themselves, but seriously, the message remains: stay at home, look after yourself, wash your hands, and all that sort of stuff. So
That's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Stay 2 meters away from everybody, and
Yeah, exactly, mate.
stay
Exactly.
safe, mate.
Cool. Well, mate, Sav, like I said, thank you very much for coming on. I just thought it was relevant to have a look at the Sonics angle as well, being that Oklahoma City Thunder started obviously in Seattle. Oh,
Yeah.
I might have lost you, Sav. Oh no, I've got you back. So yeah, just wanted to have a few minutes. So just quickly introduce yourself, tell us about you, where you're from, and how you got into the NBA.
Right. Well, I'm Sav Pafitis. I'm from Birmingham, like yourself.
Yeah.
And I got into the NBA in the early 90s. I got hold of a couple of VHS tapes of NBA Superstars 1 and 2. Watch the stars do their thing. Then our family brought in Sky TV in the early 90s, and that opened up all the basketball content for me, highlights and live games. And I was watching all the teams playing, and one team just stood out to me, and that was Seattle. And at the time, in the early 90s, Seattle was like this really hip, edgy, counterculture kind of place, home of grunge and all that. And it was a really cool city. And Seattle had a team that kind of embodied all that. This was a team that played fast-paced, transition basketball, run and gun, really exciting stuff, to be honest with you. And spearheading all that were the guard and forward combo of Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. Gary Payton, with all his swagger and confidence, he'd be throwing up alley-oops at Sean Kemp, and he'd just catch them and throw them down. I thought, that's the sort of basketball I want to see. That is definitely the basketball I want to see. And from then on, I couldn't get enough of the NBA. I couldn't get enough of the team. I fell in love with the team, Rich, and it makes it all the more tragic that I'm here talking to you now, 12 years later, about the Sonics not having a team in the league.
No, that's it, mate. It's funny you mentioned Gary Payton, because I know that I love Gary Payton. And controversially, when I've done it before, I pick my all-time 5, and I don't tend to. It sometimes changes a bit, obviously, but Gary Payton is my starting point guard. Because of his defense. I love his swag. Like, I just think you put someone in a team like that, you don't have to be the best point guard ever.
No.
But you're running up and you're looking Gary Payton in the face. No one wants to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's mental, and it's the intimidation. So I actually dug this out this morning, which might interest you. We'll be back to front. It's a 95-96 basketball album, and I think that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah,
the ferocity. The ferocity of Gary Payton was second to none, mate. And obviously you had Sean Kemp just absolutely like dunking on people, going like this in their face and stuff like that. It was furious basketball, like. And I remember watching them in the finals against the Bulls, and obviously the Bulls are unstoppable. But their route to that was really impressive, and they'd sort of been in the stage where they should have been getting to the finals for a couple of years. I think they'd had a couple of first round exits in the year preceding getting to the finals as well. So they were a team that I liked as well. And I did think it was a shame when it all went when it went south. I don't think there's a better way of explaining it. It did go south. So
Yeah.
So if I said to yourself, who is your favourite player? Got to pick one. You can't pick two.
It's Sean Kemp.
Fair play.
By a country mile, to be honest with you, as well. I mean, he was a 6'10" freak athlete. You know, he had an insane vertical. He'd throw down all these dunks, weird contortions, and he'd throw him down, hang off the rim, he'd grab his crotch, he'd let out like a primal scream, you know, and stare down his poor opponent. I mean, he'd get technicals for that, ejected even, you know, nowadays. He'd never get away with it, but it was fun to watch, man. He was, I'm a sucker for dunks anyway, who isn't, but Sean Kemp was the best in the business at that time.
Yeah,
and he was part of an exciting winning team as well.
Exactly. They don't call him the Rain Man for nothing. I know he had a bit of a checkered outside of the league history with all sorts of strange stuff, and it kind of petered out a little bit for him when he was a bit, I don't know, he got a bit bigger, didn't he? And he went a bit of a journeyman thing. But I totally agree, mate. As someone who grew up watching basketball in the 90s, mate, Sean Kemp, I had posters of Sean Kemp on my wall. And you used to wake up in the middle of the night and you'd sort of go like that, and you'd go, well, just a scary guy. So I can't imagine what it was like to defend him. So obviously, Sav, you've seen stuff in the media lately as well. Kevin Garnett in particular has come out recently and was talking about how much he would like to take basketball back to Seattle.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's a stupid question to you. Would you like to see it? Of course you would. But then therein lies the difficulty, because I know with Charlotte Hornets, they moved to New Orleans, etc. And then there were the Bobcats, and then I think the Charlotte Hornets paid to have their history back or something along those lines. So if Seattle moved back to Seattle, and they could be the Sonics and they could get their history back, fantastic.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a weird one from Oklahoma's point of view, but we'll talk more about that to the guys we've got on next. But a bit of a strange question for you here. If Seattle went back to Seattle but couldn't be the Sonics, pick them a name.
Come on, Rich. Come on. That's heresy, what you're saying. But strangely enough, I mean, it's not a done deal if Seattle did get their franchise back, that they get the Sonics name, because the NBA and, by extension, Clay Bennett still own the rights to the Sonics name. So, it might have to contingency that one and maybe come up with another name. So what would I choose? I'm not really a marketing man, I'm afraid. So what's Seattle famous for? Coffee.
Yeah. We can't call them the Seattle Grungers, can we?
The grunge. There you go. The grunge. It'll be the grunge. I mean, you've got the Seattle Utah Jazz. You've got to have the grunge, man. You've got to have the grunge. There you go. Perfect.
Cool. We'll go with that then, mate. The Seattle Grunge.
Save our grunge.
Yeah, the newest franchise that will be returning to the NBA. So that's cool. So, well, wicked stuff. I mean, thanks for coming on, mate. I think it was an appropriate introduction to start.
Thanks for having me.
That's right, mate. Whether or not we offend any OKC fans, I'm not sure. But just, you know what I mean? It's part of the heritage. Like, you are the biggest Seattle fan I know. I can see you rocking the green and yellow there as well. So it's all good.
Shout out to Mark at the Throwback Store. It's a sweet.
Mate, that's a nice one. That is a nice one.
The classic.
Excellent. Yeah, so, like I said, Sav, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Lovely to have you. Stay true to Seattle, mate, because you will hopefully get a team back, of course.
Fingers crossed, mate. We live in hope.
Indeed, mate. All right, well, take care. Thanks again, mate. We'll talk
Cheers,
soon.
Rich.
Cheers, buddy. Cool. Okay, thanks, Sav. Wicked to have you on, mate. Next up, I'm going to pop people straight in, because obviously we know how these Saturdays flow. We've got an hour. So have we got our next guest ready to come in? Here he is. Excuse me. It's not a corona cough. Yes, Matt, how are we?
Yes, my man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No, absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks for joining us. I know it's been a busy week for you on basketball social media, hasn't it?
Yeah, I joined your Celtic boys the other night. That was a good shout out to them guys, obviously. Yeah, I see.
Good stuff, mate. Yeah, I haven't yet watched it, mate. It's on my list. I should be doing that later.
No, it's a good show. I think they'll be doing good things going forward.
Yeah, definitely. We know that obviously Nathan and Tom do some wicked content. I've been following Boston Brit for forever. And Tom obviously does loads of stuff with the 2K UK Fantasy League as well. So he does some brilliant stuff. So, Matt, obviously you are an OKC fan. So you might have covered some of this already on the podcast. We might do a bit of crossover. I'm sure the guys won't mind. But the question for you, first up, apologies. Do you want to introduce yourself first and tell us a bit about what you do?
Matthew Conley. I actually play football for Cardiff City, from just outside London. I got into basketball basically. I was on holiday in Vegas, and it was the 12-13 finals, Heat and Spurs. And just from watching those games, like, they were obviously amazing. You got the Ray Allen three-pointer and went 7 games. So from then on, I was just hooked, and ended up buying the league pass after that.
Yeah.
When I got home, which is obviously incredible. You can watch any game you want, and so on and so on. And I just see Westbrook and KD playing, and from then on, I was just like, you know, I love the way those guys play, and OKC's only franchise. Even the small stuff like the fans stand up until they score their first basket and things like that. Like, that was the team I wanted to support.
No, that's cool, mate. I like the reason behind that as well. I do like that sort of standing up thing. The Celtics do that on the bench as well at the start of the game, but I think if you've got a whole arena doing it, that's a whole different thing. Like, that's really cool. So, so have you ever been out to OKC? Have you caught any games out there?
No, my brother actually went to university out there. He's still out there now. Like, he's got married out there and stuff. So, you know, I'll be getting on, so I'll be retired soon, and like, that's on my list to do. Like, I do want to go west and watch, you know, Lakers, Clippers, go to Thunder, maybe go to Houston or San Antonio, and then go east as well and watch Heat and Celtics and so on. Yeah,
that'd be cool, mate. That sounds like one hell of a road trip.
Yeah,
probably
gotta be done, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Probably quite an expensive one as well. Yeah. So no, that's cool, mate. I mean, I think a lot of us would love to get out more than we ever do.
Because it's tough, because you watch the London games and the atmosphere and things is just not the same. Like, I went to the Philly and the Celtics game. I went Raptors and Magic a few years ago, and it's just, you know, it's not, you know, you watch the Celtics in the Garden and the atmosphere just looks incredible and stuff. So
next level, that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've talked obviously about KD, Russell Westbrook. Now, obviously that was a relationship that got a little bit soured, but I don't know, maybe they're friends now. But so, I mean, talking for OKC, they had some phenomenal players. I mean, that trio of Harden, KD, Westbrook. Obviously, Harden went elsewhere. KD eventually did what he did. Whatever anyone's thoughts on that, I was quite vocal about it at the time. How did that, as a Thunder fan at the time, how did you feel when KD left and went to Golden State?
I did think he would leave anyway, because I think he had to be, not the alpha male, but I just think he wanted to play that brand of basketball he likes. And it all got a bit ISO at Thunder with Russell took his go, KD took his go. And, you know, like, as much as his move to Golden State is a bit sour for everybody, but, like, they do play a great brand. You know, Curry's great, he passes, but he shoots a lot. Clay's ready to take his shots, and same with KD. But it was obviously gutting, but I think Thunder recovered quite well from it to lose him. We obviously had the Melo and Paul George. We had the Sabonis and Oladipo thing. I think now we've got the picks and we've got good players, and I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, millions of draft picks until about 2096.
That was obviously to lose Paul George is a bit gutting, but then to get all those picks plus Shea, Gallinari, CP3's come as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So who's your favourite OKC player of all time?
I'd probably go with KD still. Obviously, as bad as it is, like, it's still tremendous. And, you know, if you need to win a game and take a final shot, you'd want him to take it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I like Russ, and I do think it was right for him to leave, because, you know, we can't keep rebuilding time and time again. It was never gonna, you know, I think he deserved a bit better than all that.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, a lot of people were sort of surprised by that. But obviously you had the thing, so Paul George went to the Clippers, which, to be fair to the Clippers, they did really well to keep that under wraps, because Kawhi did his whole little silence thing about not telling anyone what he's doing for about 3 days. Every time my phone's going off, I'm like, is it Woj? Is it Woj? Where's Kawhi? What's Kawhi doing?
That was crazy.
Oh, that was nuts, mate. Nuts.
But I think the league needed that as well, in terms of it's just opened everything up.
Yeah. You've gone from having like big threes to just duo teams, which is
duos, it's
phenomenal.
great.
Right? So then it's up to the team to find their third star, which is made it really interesting. So obviously Paul George went with Kawhi to the Clippers, and then not that long afterwards, Russell Westbrook obviously went to Houston, and I was shocked by that. I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, we can't keep rebuilding around this guy. We've got to show him some respect and maybe send him somewhere where he might win his ring, because truth be told, if as an Oklahoma fan, if the Houston Rockets are in the finals, you're supporting them, right? Because you want to see Russ win a ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that. You can't hate his passion and commitment for his team, and you see countless players say he's the best teammate they've got. I.e., like Cantor's said it. I think Austin Rivers has said it at Houston as well. So, he wants to win badly. That's why he takes all those shots and he dribbles and he does everything on his own. Like he just wants to win. So, if they're in the finals, I'm cheering on Houston, but I don't think they're going to win anything.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, especially with the way they've changed their game now as well, with obviously the small ball. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
went a bit wrong. It started quite well, but it went a bit wrong now.
Yeah, obviously shipped out Capella as well. But yeah, we've got to stay on top. We're talking about OKC. So okay. So obviously the season has before. I think I'm one of those people who at the start of the season, obviously, Paul George is gone. Westbrook's gone. Chris Paul's come in, and I'm like, okay. And I'm reading loads and loads of stuff about. There's no way OKC make the playoffs. They could be the bottom in the West. They'll certainly be in the bottom three. And seeing where they are now is pretty mind-blowing, to be fair, because it just wasn't expected at all. So how do you think that's come about? What have been the main factors in that?
I think everyone was quick to write them off. But also at the same time, I think some teams have underachieved. Like, I think Utah should have been doing a lot better. I think if Zion was fit for the Pelicans, they'd probably be a bit higher. Portland haven't played very well.
True.
But I'd go main reasons Chris Paul, to be honest. I think like for him, he needs this role where he's the experienced one. He can lead and to teach Shea and Dennis to learn from Chris Paul every day. Steven Adams, I think he's been massive, especially when they've been down 25 or 20 numerous times and come back.
Yeah, definitely.
And we beat your guys that time. He was on fire as well.
True. We've lost to some teams this season that you would have expected us to, but I think I can't knock OKC this season at all. I think Chris Paul's got one of the best basketball IQs out there.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I like him. I like him probably more now after this season than I did before. Because the whole Clippers era, he sort of, I don't know, he tended to get into my skin a little bit. But watching him this year, he could have like thrown his toys out the pram and gone, I'm not playing here. I'm not staying. A bit like Iguodala did in Memphis. It was Memphis, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Memphis. Yeah.
But he's just gone, no, all right, cool, I'm here. I've kind of come full circle. Let's just do it. And it's been really good. So
yeah, he's on big money and stuff. So see how it goes. But I think if the playoffs restart, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, it'd be good to watch. Definitely good to watch.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, Matt. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I know obviously they're just quick sets that we have because we've got loads of guests to get through.
No. Thanks very much for having me on. Well done. Great show.
Thanks, mate. Pleasure. Good to speak to you. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Cool. Okay. Thank you, Matt Connolly, for coming on. Right. Next up, this is a bit of a first for us because we are going to get a young lady on who, I think, to be fair, she's our first female guest. And also, she does some pretty cool stuff. So I've just got to try and find her on here. Okay. I can't see her on the guest list. Perfectly planned, see. Perfectly planned. Oh, there she is. Sorry, my bad. She was there all along. So I'll get her to come in.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're really good, thank you. I mean, yeah, obviously these are very, very strange times that we are in. Here, there, everywhere. So are you keeping safe and staying well and staying at home?
Yeah, for sure. I've just had to leave the house like one time a week for the past month, so it's been fine.
Okay, and how have you been keeping busy?
I have just been drawing like crazy. I think I can handle this like quarantine thing really well. Like all I've been doing is sitting in my room and like drawing. So I don't know. It's kind of cool to not have to go to other work.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, so you can focus on the stuff you're passionate about rather than having to go to the normal 9-to-5 grind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about you. Just introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Okay, I'm Sarah. I'm from Texas, so I don't get to go to as many OKC games as I'd like to. It's only about 4 hours from me now, but still, like everybody in Texas is either like Mavs, Rockets, and I lived in San Antonio, so tons of Spurs fans. So,
yeah.
I guess like 2 years ago, I just decided that I wanted to do like a Steven Adams and then a Westbrook for my room. And then I I just decided to make a Twitter then, and then everyone after that were like, oh my god, like you only have like 6 followers, like what's going on? And so like people started retweeting my stuff, and then it's really fun, like people just asking for like, hey, like will you do this player, like oh I love this photo, like will you try and do it? And so it's a lot of fun.
That
I
is
was
cool.
trying every single like player by the end of the year, so I guess I have like a lot more time now, but
Yeah.
I still
Sure.
wish that the season was happening.
That's cool. And how much are you missing basketball?
Oh my gosh, it sucks. Like I just turned off my notifications like for ESPN and everything. And I'm like a big Liverpool fan, so that sucks too. Like it seems like we could at least have baseball. Like it seems like that could be safe to do, but I don't know. It's a weird place without sports.
Yeah, it's quite strange times. I mean, we've been trying, well, we've been delivering loads and loads of content for people. We sort of upped our game doing our Instagram stuff as well. And we just thought, look, we just want to keep people entertained and engaged and keep doing stuff. So it's great to have someone like yourself on. So I know that everyone will be looking as I am and trying to see more of these pictures. So
Okay.
can you show us some of the work that you do and just talk us through when you did it? Obviously, you shouldn't need to tell Hoops fans exactly who the players are because we should know that. But just tell us and talk to us about what your inspiration was and how long these pieces take you.
I usually spend between, I don't know, like usually around 30 to like 50 hours. It just kind of depends. Like the first part is like graphing them, and so that's all like math and it sucks. But then after that it starts to be fun. So like I did like I have a Chris Paul here that I did as like practice because I'm okay at everything, but I'm just like trying to work at it. So like I did that one, and then here was like my painting, so that people just like a pop of color and like something fun for the wall. So those are my Chris Pauls. And then I just love this picture. Oh, I should have. Let me take it out of
Okay.
this. Sorry, there's like a huge glare. But yeah, this picture of Shay and CP3 is like one of my favorites.
That is awesome. That's
I
like
love
the rookie and the old head, isn't it? It's like the rookie and his mentor.
amazing, and I just love like their, I don't know, like the bond that they have and how much he's like mentoring him. It's just amazing this year.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we can see you've got some awesome stuff up on the wall as well behind you. So I'm guessing, do you do these just for personal? I mean, I know you do some commissions for people as well, don't you?
Yeah, like people that like other teams and stuff, and like I like whenever Kobe passed away, I was like trying to deal with that, and so like I drew Kobe like 6 times. Like I just stopped everything and was just doing that. Can I flip on here or not?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, of course. Show us what we'd love to see more of these. They are amazing. So you should. There should. I think there's a little. Yeah, top left. You might have a little toggle thing to turn it around. Should be 2 hours. Have you got that?
Ooh.
There you go.
Sweet. Okay, so here is my Nerlens.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really love this one. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, good player, Nolan's Noel. Bit underrated by some people. Some people don't like him. I think he's pretty dope. Like.
Yeah. And then Dennis is my absolute favorite this year. I just love him so much. So I hope that he gets 6-man.
Yeah, he is cool. He's done well. He's done well for you guys, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's just so much fun to watch and like so much like fun on the bench and everything. I just really like him. Like, here's my Westbrook. This was the first one that I did.
That's
Then here's like my Steven Adams.
that's current Steven Adams as well. If you drew Steven Adams when he came in as a rookie, it would look very different.
Yeah, for sure.
He has been on a serious tattoo journey, that man, and hair and beard journey. But to be fair, also he scored one of the best shots I've seen this season. Just casually threw it in from about 3/4 court as well.
Oh my gosh, that was like my favorite play ever. Then this one is one that I just finished, and I really like this one. Because like Noel is like grabbing like CP3's jersey, and then Schroeder's giving him like a high five, and then we have Shay over here and Gallo. And so like those are the three people that we kind of like don't know, like Shooter, Gallo, and CB3, like what's gonna happen like next year. Really wanted to do this photo like whenever they're all together, and I just think that like they have a cool relationship, I guess.
Yeah, that's some of it. Just looking at this, it's so impressive. I mean, I am not artistic at all. I've got a brother-in-law, Joe, who does some wicked stuff, and he's more of a cartoonist, and he does loads of stuff with colour. But I'm just absolute admiration for anyone who can sit with the time and the patience and come up with something like that, because that is absolutely brilliant, Sarah. And it's really nice for us as well to have something on these features as well, which is so different, because normally we just sit and just talk hoops. So for you to come on and show us the work that you do and the artwork is just, that's crazy. So,
Thank you so much.
Well impressed. I mean, I might have to. We might have to talk about you doing something Celtics for me at some point as well.
Yeah, I'll do a canter for you because I miss him and love that guy so much. I want to do one of his anyway.
Yeah, maybe canter. We might have to talk Marcus Smart though, because he's my favourite.
Okay, fair enough.
That's cool. So a couple of other questions for you. Who's your favourite Oklahoma City player ever?
Ever is definitely Westbrook. Like he's the reason that I started liking the team. So yeah, I have to pick him. Yeah. But this year it has definitely been.
Oh, can you hear us all right?
I'm sorry?
Oh, just thought we'd lost you then. No, you're all right. Sorry, I heard who's this year's been.
This year is Dennis for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's quite and not loads of people would say that as well. I like that when you've sort of got a choice of someone who's maybe not obscure but a little bit less mainstream. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
right,
really.
wicked. Well, massive thank you for showing us all this. Oh yeah, that's I like the ones with the colour as well.
Yeah, like those are what people like the most. But I'm just like, I don't know, I'm still practicing painting. I'm not super great at it yet. But this like Russ one is definitely like one of my favorite ones ever.
That's Happy Russ as well.
Yeah.
That's Happy Russ. Might be quite cool to get one of Russ when he was in Philadelphia. I don't know if you remember the whole Richard Harker Day, I'll name drop him, incident with the Philadelphia fan going nuts in the stand at Russ, and Russ was just like, "Who's this guy?" That might be a cool idea for one day, because to be fair, Russ pulls some of the best faces. When he's just like,
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Oh, I have like, let me grab this real quick. I like my tiny little cute why not one.
Ah, that's ice. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. That's the mad Russ faces, isn't it? Just
yeah.
like that cheeky lip curl. No, that's cool. That's cool.
I miss it so much.
Cool. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on and showing us all of that. That's been wicked for me. I love stuff like that, and we really appreciate you coming on. And just keep. No, you're very welcome, and we'll make sure. Obviously, we tell everyone, give everyone your handles and stuff to follow. But please, everyone, go and follow Sarah. Her work is brilliant.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you. And we'll get you on again sometime soon. You've got some more pictures to show us, and yeah, we'll talk more as well. And please, obviously, stay safe, look after yourself, and enjoy your time of creating a wicked artwork.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks, Sarah. Take care. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye now. Cool. Really enjoyed looking at that. That was wicked, man. I love art stuff. Like I can't draw paint for shit. I can't get the angles and perspectives, but I have nothing but admiration for people who have the patience to do it. So that was wicked. Okay. Next up. Right, let me find our next guest. It's not letting me add anyone in. Give me a sec. Oh, there you go. I've just flipped the screen, haven't I? That's my daughter's books behind. Apologies for that. There we go. Right, I'm just going to see if I can add some. It's not letting me add anyone else in. Give me a second. I should take this out of here. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do quickly, I'm just going to disconnect for a second, and then we'll jump straight back on to see if I can sort this out. Okay. Just stay with us, guys. We'll be back live in a second. Okay. Back again, guys. Just let everyone just jump back on again. Just let everyone jump on. There we go. Everyone's popping back in. go. Right, I can see our next guest, so I'm going to add him in now because it looks like he's jumping back on the stream. So back up there. Brandon, you good?
Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm all right. We've got you sideways.
Okay. All right, I'll just hold it up. What's up, man?
Yeah, there we go. Brandon, thanks for joining us, man. Much appreciation for you coming on. I know it's quite early there. Quite early there, isn't it? 11:30 in the morning?
Yeah, it's 11:30 on a Sunday, so or Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
It's early for me. I'd normally be sleeping in, so I woke up early for you.
Yeah, I know. You was up quite late messaging us as well when we were talking about it, so I hope you managed to get some rest in the meantime.
Yeah, a few hours. Yeah.
Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. So, Brandon, for anyone who doesn't know you, just give us tell us about yourself, just a quick minute introduction and tell us what you're doing. And I've got loads of questions and stuff to talk to you about.
Cool. Yeah, I write for dailythunder.com, and it's I cover the Thunder. I'm the beat reporter for the website, and I mean it's a cool gig. I go to all the Thunder games, locker room access. Well, used to be locker room access. We'll see what happens now when we come back after all this happens. I don't know how that's going to change or not, but I mean it's a fun gig. dailythunder.com.
Excellent. Okay. Good stuff. So, I think it's great to have someone on who deals with stuff with the media, especially with the Oklahoma City thing, because in the past we know there's been some disputes between players and a certain reporter. I don't know if you'll be able to comment too much on that from an integrity point of view, but I'll ask you questions. But if you can't, just say no comment.
Right.
So, So obviously you've had locker room access. You've spoken to a lot of the players before. Who's your favourite person? We'll do a past and present. So, who's your favourite person ever to have played for Oklahoma that you have interacted with, and tell us a bit about it and tell us why.
I mean, I think if you ask almost any media guy or girl here in Oklahoma City, they'll tell you Steven Adams is their favorite as far as like interacting with, interviewed, things like that. I mean, guys like Chris Paul, they've always been so, intelligent and give such good answers and thoughtful answers, and you learn about the game from them and things like that. But as far as just like getting great quotes, being really funny, personable, it's going to be Steven Adams. I mean, the dude is he's what you see, on TV and all those things. He's really funny, and everybody likes him. I mean, and you're always going to get a good quote for him, and he's going to call you mate. So,
True.
I got to go Steven Adams.
Okay, that's cool. So that covers our past and present then in that case. That's cool. So obviously we know Mr. Westbrook. I know he's not Oklahoma anymore, but he's such a massive part of that franchise in terms of the history. He's got a very interesting relationship with the media. We've all seen clips. We've all seen the faces, like I was just talking to Sarah about certain quotes of his, which we can't repeat, obviously, because they're a little bit close to the line. But so the whole thing that sort of came around with, like, is it Barry Tremmell, isn't it? Where he literally just, I mean, I'm guessing you've been in the room in certain situations where those questions have been fired out. What was that like? So obviously he fires a question and Russ is like, next question. So is it awkward? I mean, do you know Barry, like, personally? Is it something you're happy to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, Barry's a nice guy. Like, I mean, I won't comment too much as far as his relationship with Russ and how all that goes down. But I'll say, if you're a media guy and you're talking with Barry, he's a nice guy. Now, I'm a Westbrook fan, and Russ is Russ, and when he's on the basketball court, he's a different animal as far as like how he competes and things like that. And it's tough. I know for these players, it's tough. If you get them in a loss and the man is more competitive than anybody else on the basketball court, then 5 minutes later, you're asking him why he lost, and you're asking some tough questions. It's not going to go easy. Now, I will say this about Russ. Off the court, with fans, every single fan interaction that I've heard and seen with my own eyes, he's great with fans, especially kids. He loves kids, and he's really appreciative and good with fans. He's a good family man. But on the basketball court and with the media, I mean, he's just, he's Russ. I mean, it's the easiest way to say it. Yeah, I mean, it'll be awkward. You know, if you're in that room and things can get pretty tense and awkward, and you know, it's kind of like that commercial, like that "Want to Get Away." You just kind of feel like a little awkward.
Yeah, fair play. I think the one thing we can say for Barry as well is he still fires his questions out, even though he
He
knew
does.
what was going to happen. He's just like, he'll ask the question anyway, and Russ will do his thing. So
Yep,
that's cool.
he's gonna. They're both big personalities. I mean, I like them both. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna take sides. I see both sides of it. I honestly think the whole thing's kind of funny. Like when you're in the room and stuff like that. You know, you want those. Yeah, as media and reporters, things like that. You kind of live for those funny, awkward moments. If you ask me.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably kind of nice not being that guy as well who's just firing you next question. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm only gonna give Russ softballs. I'm
keep it nice and straightforward. That's cool. So obviously, from an Oklahoma point of view, so you guys had the Hornets in Oklahoma up until I think it was the end of 2007 season. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because obviously we all know what happened in New Orleans, and then there was a year, wasn't there, where there was no Oklahoma team because the Hornets had gone back to New Orleans.
Right.
So from a point of view, is obviously when the whole thing happened with Seattle, as an Oklahoma, how did you feel when they were like, you're getting an NBA franchise on a permanent basis? What did that feel like?
I mean, it felt great. I mean, Oklahomans love sports. I mean, it's it's mostly been football for the Oklahoma Sooners and Oklahoma State Cowboys. But I mean, we've had good basketball teams here collegiately. We've had semi-pro teams, baseball teams, hockey teams. Oklahomans love sports, and we love basketball, and we've always wanted to be like a big league town.
Mm-hmm.
We always wanted to have a major franchise here, and so everybody was excited, man. I mean, it was just around the state there was just a buzz.
Yeah.
And one, because we're getting a basketball team and we get to see NBA players here in our own backyard, but then also just how it would make look. Here, I'm talking to somebody from across the pond right now about basketball. That would have never happened, 15 years ago. Oklahomans wouldn't have thought that would be possible. We were just known, unfortunately, for the Oklahoma City bombing, and we felt like getting a team, an NBA team, would kind of put us on the map, and really it has. I mean, you meet anybody from outside of Oklahoma now, the first thing they want to talk about is the Thunder.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
oh, that's cool. I mean, it's been over 10 seasons now, isn't it? We're in maybe the 11th or 12th season of being in Oklahoma, isn't they? So, and I think as well, obviously moving from Seattle, there was a good team in place. Obviously, they had KD. They just drafted Russ as well. So it's not like I remember when they had the Canadian expansion teams back in the 90s. They were just expansion teams, so it was just like, right, there's two new franchises. We're going to pick out a load of players from the league, and you'll get what you're given. Well, not what you're given, but you got to pick certain people. But you basically didn't get to say, I want a Kevin Durant and I want a Russell Westbrook out of the draft. So, I mean, the Thunder did some great things early on in that time in Oklahoma, obviously, without getting to the finals. So, yeah, it's from a personal level, I enjoy watching Oklahoma play. I'm not just saying that because I'm on. I've always thought they were decent to watch. I'm a Westbrook fan as well. People talk about stat padding, but you've got to be under the basket to get the rebounds. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be taking the shots to get the points. And that 20-point, or the 20-point, 20 rebound, 20 assist triple double is just insane. Like it's madness to watch. Like so, yeah.
And Oklahomans love Russ. They will always love Russ. I mean, I think if you asked an Oklahoma City fan 50 years from now who's the greatest Thunder player of all time, or who's the most important, or your favorite, they'll say Russell Westbrook, just because of how important he was. He stayed when Kevin Durant left, and everybody thought that Russ would leave. I mean, he's a beloved figure here, and yeah, we've had just some exciting, fun, competitive, entertaining, good teams, and yeah, I mean, everyone here loves from 3-year-old kids to 95-year-old grandmothers and grandfathers. Everybody here loves the Thunder. That's
awesome. That is awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you some more questions now as well, because I know that we touched on this when we were sort of doing our prep. For anyone who doesn't know about, there's a certain hotel in Oklahoma where teams have stayed, and apparently it has been a massive hindrance to their game the following day. I don't know if you've ever stayed there before yourself, but Brandon, tell us about the hotel, tell us about the stories, tell us about some of the history and the folk stories that come out of it.
Yeah. So the hotel is called the Skirvin. It's called the Skirvin, and I've never spent the night there. I've been to weddings there. I've been to different parties there. The thing that maybe a lot of people don't know about it is it's a fancy, really really nice hotel. I mean, it's expensive to stay there. Obviously, the NBA players are staying there, and it's nice. I mean, it's like a 5-star hotel. Now that said, yes, it was around like 100 years ago. It was closed down for a lot of years, and then it came back, I think, in 2007, the year before the Thunder got here in Oklahoma City. And stories started coming out that people would stay there. They'd hear a baby crying at night. They would hear. There's a lot of stories about a maid. It's all about a maid and a baby. And NBA players have said that they blame losses, even playoff losses, on staying in the hotel because they couldn't sleep that night because they heard a baby crying, or their bathtub was filled with water inexplicably, or a maid was talking to them or trying to seduce them. I mean, there's some crazy stories that come out. I know that Derrick Rose, Nate Robinson, Eddie Curry, Caron Butler. I mean, the players go on and on. Stories that have come out from the Skirvin. I mean, players are legitimately freaked out to stay. I mean, and they will swear that they heard babies, kids, and a maid talking to them. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's a legit thing.
Yeah, I think I'm sure Dwight Howard said something about it as well, that someone touched him inappropriately while he was sleeping. But that's Dwight. That's just Dwight being Dwight. So yeah, I've always thought that's a really cool story. I randomly fell across that, I don't know, a year or so ago, when I was on Twitter and I was just reading, and then there was just a little link to it, and I started reading that story. I was like, that is mad. Like, so again, this is a Saturday of first. We've had artwork, and we've also had NBA ghost stories as well. So yeah, it's a good one this week. So I think as well, Brandon, what I'd just like to quickly touch on with you is obviously how different OKC's season has been to how people thought it was going to be. So if I want to chuck a couple of, let's put our teacher hat on now. I'm going to throw some players' names at you and give them a rating for the year, obviously up to where we got to. So it's like, I don't know, like their high school rating. So let's go with Schroeder.
I mean, Schroeder, it was shocking this year. I got to give him an A. I mean, he's improved in every single area: efficiency, scoring, across the board. He's defense. Before the season, the past seasons I would have given him like a B minus. This season, though, I mean, I got to give him an A. He's been great. Excellent.
Okay, I don't think many people would disagree with that. For some people, he sort of flies under the radar a little bit, but it's like Sarah said, she actually gets 6 man, I think. So I think he probably deserves that. So okay, next up, let's go with Steven Adams.
Steven Adams has had, killer year this year as well. I mean, he's been great across the board. Probably give him. He started off the season a little slow, but since then he's picked it up. I give him an A minus. I mean, I still think when you look at his numbers and you look at his efficiency and how he's impacted the defense, and if you looked at all the lineups with him in it, I give Steven an A minus.
Okay, cool. I think that's fair. And we'll finish off just one more with, we'll obviously go with Mr. Chris Paul. What are you giving him for the season?
I mean, if you look at the numbers, if you crunch the numbers, it sounds nuts, but he's been a top 10 player in the NBA this year. I mean, I think he's going to get some MVP votes. I mean, there'll be 4 and 5 votes, but I think that when you look at Chris Paul's story before the season, that people would say maybe he's a locker room issue or he would cause some troubles. He was on the downslope of his career. But he's been great this year. His numbers have been fantastic. He's been efficiency. He leads the NBA by far in clutch points. And I think he's been the most important player for a team that people thought was going to be a rebuilding, tanking team this year. And, they were about to be likely the number 4 seed had they played that Utah game that night. I'd say I had the favorite to win that, and they were going to be a home court advantage team in the playoffs. And, we look at it, Chris Paul's been the most important factor in all of that. So I got to give him, I'm going to give him an A+. This is 34-year-old Chris Paul that people thought, was on the downslope of his career. So I got to give Chris Paul an A+.
I think that's very fair. I don't think anyone was quite at the point of saying that he was washed, but they were like, oh, is he a good trade asset with where he is in his career? But I think from my point of view, watching him just say, do you know what? Because he could have just, like I mentioned this before to Matt, he could have done an Iguodala and said, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to play here. Trade me whenever you're ready and I'll just sit and do my thing. And he's been brilliant. And that picture that Sarah's got of him and Shea together, like the mentor and the young buck, that's a real, I like seeing stuff like that. So, and his basketball IQ is insane as well. I know a lot of people think that he's got a basketball brain. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And I know obviously they're all good ratings, but I've picked some shining players there. So, but yeah, it's been good to watch you guys this season. And I like the fact that you've surprised a lot of people as well. Because I was one of the doubters. I was just like, I don't really see what's going to happen. I don't think much is going to happen. But if you throw into that what you've got at the minute, there will be some stages of rebuilding, obviously, and then loads and loads of draft picks forever till the end of time with all the trades that happened. It's certainly an interesting time to be watching the Thunder. So
yeah, fans are excited. Everybody was really, really bummed out to lose Russ because I loved him so much, and the fact that we felt like we had a contender here. Maybe had disappointed the last few seasons in the playoffs, but felt like building something. But this team has surprised everybody, and the city's fallen in love with them all over again. So it's been fun to see, man.
That's really good. That's good to hear as well, because I think for a lot of people, I thought it wasn't going to play out like that when Russ went and Paul George. So that's cool. Well, Brandon, again, thank you so much for joining us today, mate. It's been wicked talking to you. Also to hear more about the Skirving, because I like stuff like that. I find it really interesting. So if I ever get to Oklahoma, I will not stay in that hotel. Probably more because of the cost, but as well because I just wouldn't sleep with knowing what I know now. I'd be like, why is my bath tap running?
Yeah,
that's cool. But yeah, really appreciate you coming on. Please look after yourself. Stay safe. Love to us from over the pond to you and your family as well.
Appreciate you, man. It's good coming on with you, bud.
Great stuff. Thanks, mate. We'll talk soon. Cheers, Brandon.
Absolutely, bud.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
You too.
I know. Right, that was ace. Love talking to Brandon. Okay, cool. So, this is part 2, isn't it? So, we have to cut halfway through. So, last up, I'm going to get the man himself, okay? Mr. Oklahoma City Thunder UK, Tom Snowden. Let's get him in the chat. So, Tom's our last guest today. We're going to talk loads to Tom about all sorts of bits and bobs. Yes, Tom, you good, mate?
How you doing? You all right?
I like your T-shirt.
Got to wrap it, innit?
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Mate, first and foremost, can I just say a massive, massive thank you to you, because some might assume that we line up all the guests, but this man here basically really helped to coordinate. Obviously, Matt, Sarah, Brandon. You're looking at the man who did most of the legwork, got the guests sorted out for us, and allowed us to deliver another wicked Saturday live. So, Tom, thank you, mate, from us.
They were great as well, weren't they?
Oh, brilliant, mate. I loved it. That artwork honestly blew my mind looking at stuff like that. It's just wicked. I've said it about 5 times already, but I admire anyone who's got that sort of creativity. So, yeah, you and me have got loads of little bits to talk about. Sorry, I keep looking down because I'm looking at my book here, which I've got all my questions in. So you've got your own page there, mate. So we'll be all right for a bit. So just briefly introduce us. Tell us who you are for anyone who doesn't know, which most people will. Just tell us your name, where you're from, where you live, what you do, etc.
So my name's Tom. I live in Manchester, and I am the founder of OKC UK Fans on Twitter. Plain and simple.
Excellent. Okay. And I know you haven't been an NBA fan for a long time, so it's quite new to you. So I know you and me have talked loads, but tell everyone else what got you into the NBA.
There's a few factors, to be honest. To start off with, the main one was just through playing 2K on the PlayStation. It was just, I was bored of all the other games, bought a new game, got into it then. And then I had a couple of friends who I know personally who said, or who were into basketball, and they said, like, try watching a game, see how you feel. Mm-hmm. So I watched the game. That time I was still a bit edgy about it, but then I just carried on playing 2K. And then because I was playing 2K, I was finding my knowledge was growing through 2K and not rather than watching it.
Okay.
So it got to the point where I was having these discussions with my mates saying, "Oh, this guy's really good on 2K." And he was like, "Yeah, we'll watch him in real life." So I just started watching. And eventually I just got hooked on it.
No, fair play. I think that's quite a similar story. I mean, I know I've flashed this already, but this was me in the 90s, right? So we used to get very little coverage. We had like a bit of Channel 4. We didn't have Sky in my house when I was a kid, but there was a bit of coverage on Channel 4, and I was a bit of a stat studier as well in terms of the fact that like, I could tell you players off rosters, and then obviously as the coverage increased and we got more access to it, then you got to see more. Then the internet was invented because I am that old. Okay?
Yeah.
So we used to get to watch stuff on the internet on the dial-up and things like that. So yeah, that's wicked, mate. And why Oklahoma? Tell us why OKC.
The same answer as everybody else is going to give you, Russ.
Yeah.
Like what that man done, not only for OKC, but the type of player he is, you just can't not love him. You might dislike his attitude, but as a player, if you fault him, I think there's something wrong with you.
Okay. Fair play. Good answer, mate. Yeah, I think you know I'm a Russ fan. I always have been. So, and I did think Oklahoma would burn it down a little bit after what happened, but as we know, they've done well this season. So, okay. So, obviously you've been into the NBA for a few years. You're an Oklahoma fan. So, what made you decide? Do you know what? I'm going to set up a Twitter account for Oklahoma City Fans UK, and I'm going to run it, and it's going to be a success. What was the thoughts behind that?
I don't know, to be honest. It's coming up to nearly a year now since the page started. And I just remember, I think it was the NBA UK fans on Twitter posted up saying like about how many of these pages are growing, how many of these pages are opening up, sorry. And I think I remember commenting on it saying, wouldn't it be good if there was an OKC one? And one of the contributors replied to me back saying, "Oh, why don't you do it yourself?" So I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd still be doing it, and I'm like near enough at 400 followers now, so I never thought it would get that far, or I'd still have the interest to do it.
Excellent. When you mentioned that, I've got a feeling that I might have replied to your message, saying, I'm sure you inquired to us. You was like, "Oh, what does it involve?" That sort of thing, and it might have been me that replied to you. I can't take the props because I'm not entirely sure, but it does ring some bells. So
yeah,
no, fair play to you, mate. And obviously, it's become a really, really big success. And like anyone who runs a fan account will know, as you do, it requires a lot of work. And what I always say about the individual fan accounts is obviously NBA UK fans, we've got 5 of us, so we can spread ourselves a bit wider. But you guys tend to be one-man bands doing all the hard work yourself. So tell us a bit about, have you had any highs, any lows, any times when you thought, you know what, it's all too much, I might throw in the towel?
I wouldn't necessarily say lows. Like I've enjoyed doing a lot of it. There might be some times where I've just gone, "Oh, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow." But in terms of highs, like I grew up in like a small village in Cornwall, so like when I interviewed Matt Connolly, like being a footballer, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty decent."
Yeah.
And then obviously recently I interviewed Brandon, who we've just seen as well, and like to interview someone who covers the Thunder daily, like it was pretty cool. So the fact that it carries on growing like that makes me want to carry on doing it.
That's wicked. I think anyone would agree with that. It's sometimes like doing all this stuff that we do, it's just like the people you meet as well. Like you probably never would have had conversations with people like that had we not been doing what we're doing. So I know we talked about this as well, mate. Where do you get your ideas from? Like, obviously, you have ideas for content. Where do you get your best ideas?
I don't know, to be honest. The interviews come back to like years ago. There was a part of me that wanted to think about going to uni to do journalism. Like, still don't have a qualification or anything to do with it past college. So I was like, I'll give it a go, like doing a type-up interview. So carried on going as it is. Obviously use WordPress for that. And then it's just kind of thinking out the box in terms of like the, can't remember what it's called now. Is it the 100 million?
£100 million drop. Brilliant feature.
Like that's got like my record views on my blog by a long way. It got past like 150, I think.
Yeah, that's cool.
So for me on that page, compared to some others, which were still successes in my eyes, so like they got good views, but that blog post and the way it went down, the amount of votes we were getting on each one, we were getting 50+ votes each time.
Yeah,
there were always like people were actually looking out for it. I remember Denver Nuggets UK. Literally every time his hat got pulled out, his name got pulled out the hat, he was messaging me to say, "When's it going out? When's it going out?"
yeah.
So it was nice to do something that people enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we talked about that in Birmingham, you said to me, you go, "Rich, I've got this idea." And you told me about it. I was like, "I love that, mate. That sounds wicked." And obviously you invited some people to be involved with it. And I'd be really interested to know what the full reach of that was, mate. Because obviously it's not just about when you tweet it out. It's obviously everyone else who retweets it and then likes it as well. You can find some mad stats on Twitter about what the reach of your tweets were. But it was highly controversial in some parts as well. But I just, again, mate, like I just thought it was such a brilliant idea. It's like, right, I'm going to give you this much money, and you've got to take, I think it was 15-man roster, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah,
15.
Right. And you've got to build, and here's your conditions. You can only have 2 or 3 players under a certain age. And it was good, mate. And I spent ages picking my team, absolutely ages. In fact, I think I did it, and then I checked the rules and had to make some changes as well. So yeah, to spend hours on it and then get knocked out in the first round, a little bit disappointing. But you know, it happens. Like it happens. Tom Wade can tell you about getting knocked out in the first round as well, because he did on 2K UK Fantasy. Sorry, Tom. So
he deserved it for picking Tatum.
Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, I mean, that sort of covers my next question. I was going to say, what's the biggest success or the best experience? I mean, we talked about how the people you've met, and obviously the £100 million drop, which I still maintain was just a great idea, mate, and great fun. So, yeah. Another thing as well, I know that you are one of the new members of the 2K UK Fantasy League, and you were sharing some of your research with me this morning. And so it's a lengthy process, mate. But it's good.
That's nothing yet.
Oh yeah, you're gonna go level up.
Oh, I'm gonna go miles deeper. That was just like writing a title for a novel. That's what that was.
Right, I know you'll do your research as well, and I know you'll pick a strong squad. So obviously the 2K UK Fantasy League, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's a little thing that we do where we first season we had 8 teams. Next season we'll have 12 teams. So we'll have 12 GMs who pick a roster, and then the games are shown, they're simulated and shown on Twitch. But from our point of view, mate, the fun part isn't just watching the games, it's all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Because I know, excuse me, I mentioned Tom Wade already, but he does loads of hard work on it. Makes it really good fun for everyone to watch and everyone to interact with. Oh, G-Shack's just said to me as well, breaking news, wasn't public. Sorry, guys, hot take. So, but yeah, it's all good. It's out there now. It is what it is. So cool. All right, Tom. Well, we're sort of hitting our time limit. I just wanted to say again a massive thank you to you for bringing on all of those guests, because I can't take any of the credit. You need to for getting them on with us. Well done on running what is undoubtedly a top tier fan account. I know how much work you put into it. And obviously, I know you will stay loyal to OKC as well. But yeah, massive thanks for you for coming on as well. So really appreciate your time.
No worries, Rich. Always appreciate you, mate.
Nice one, mate. Thank you. Okay, cool. Thanks, mate. We'll talk soon, mate.
Thanks, buddy. See you later.
See you, buddy. See you in a bit. Okay, cool. So that wraps up our OKC UK Saturday special guest list. We've had some brilliant people on. I've fully enjoyed talking to them. I sincerely hope you enjoy watching these. If you ever have any ideas for how we can make them better, anything like you might want to see me in a different hat just for a change, just drop us a DM. Tell us what you think. Obviously, we are NBA_UK fans on Instagram. We are at NBA_UK fans on Twitter. Just a quick one as well for you. The Joe Hulbert Bracket Challenge is running on our Twitter. If you go to our Twitter page and look at the pinned tweet, there is information on there about how to enter. There will be prizes for the winner. It's a really cool competition because it makes you think about stuff like, I'll give you a bit of a brief spiel. Joe Hulbert is someone we know very well, part of our NBA UK family, and he's a basketball brain. The guy knows stuff that like you wouldn't even know about. And he's a great analyst as well. So what we asked Joe to do was to pick how he thought the playoffs would play out if they started today. He's done that. And then we're challenging you guys to get closest to Joe's predictions, or if you match them, amazing. So please go and have a look at our pinned tweet on Twitter. All the guidelines are on there. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's very rewarding as well. And it's good it'll get you thinking about how you think the playoffs will play out. And obviously we've got a week or so for that to run, and then me and Joe will do a live and talk about talk about why he made the selections that he did. So yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for coming in today, for watching the live. Love having you here, love doing these, and we will keep doing them. But yeah, everyone stay safe. Coronavirus is still here. Don't go crazy. Don't go outside. Well, you can go outside if you've got a garden, but yeah, above all, man, enjoy your weekends, and we hope you enjoyed the content. Take care. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.